The smell of sweat and panic fills the air. It's October 29th, 1929, and grown men are weeping on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Fortunes built over decades vanish in minutes. Millionaires become paupers before lunch. But here's what nobody tells you about that day, or any financial crisis really. The crash didn't start with some random market hiccup. It started months earlier, in the mind of one overconfident investor who thought he'd cracked the code. Just like every crisis before it, and every one that's coming next. Your retirement account, your mortgage, your job security, they're all connected to a pattern that's been repeating for centuries, and most people never see it coming. The blueprint is always the same, but the faces change. Let's go back to where it all began. Amsterdam, 1637. Tulip bulbs. Yes, flowers nearly destroyed the Dutch economy. Picture this. A single tulip bulb costs more than a luxury house. Traders are mortgaging everything they own just to buy seeds they've never seen. Sound familiar? It should. Because Tulip Mania wasn't about tulips at all. It was about the oldest drug known to humanity. Greed mixed with social pressure. Here's how it works. Someone makes money on something new. Their neighbor notices. Then their neighbor's neighbor. Soon, everyone's talking about the guy who got rich quick, and nobody wants to miss out. The Dutch tulip traders had convinced themselves they'd found a sure thing. New varieties, rare colors, endless demand from the wealthy. But they forgot the golden rule that crashes every bubble. When something becomes too good to be true, it usually is. The bubble burst in February 1637. Overnight, those priceless bulbs became worthless weeds. Families lost their homes, merchants went bankrupt. The entire Dutch economy nearly collapsed over flowers. Fast forward 83 years. London, 1720. The South Sea Company promises investors riches from trade with South America. Except there's one tiny problem. They're barely trading anything. The company is basically selling shares in a dream. But people don't care about details when money's involved. They see their friends getting rich on paper, and logic goes out the window. Even Isaac Newton, the smartest man alive, dumps his life savings into South Sea stock. He loses everything. Later he admits, I can calculate the motion of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of people. The South Sea bubble collapses, wiping out fortunes across England. But here's the kicker. Within a generation, people are lining up for the next sure thing. Jump ahead to 1929. America's roaring through the 20s. Cars, radios, electricity. Everything's modern and shiny. The stock market's been climbing for years, and everyone's an expert investor. Taxi drivers are giving stock tips. Barbers are buying on margin, meaning they're borrowing money to buy even more stocks. But here's a detail that makes your blood run cold. By 1929, you could buy stocks with just 10% down. That means for every dollar you actually had, you could control $10 worth of stock. When prices went up 10%, you doubled your money. When they went down 10%, you lost everything. Charles Mitchell, head of National City Bank, tells everyone that markets have reached a permanently high plateau. That phrase should have been a warning. Whenever someone says, this time is different, start running. But people don't run. They double down. They borrow against their houses to buy more stocks. They're convinced they've entered a new era where markets only go up, until they don't. The crash destroys everything, not just the rich guys on Wall Street. Regular families lose their savings, their jobs, their hope. The Great Depression follows, lasting a decade, all because people forgot that what goes up eventually comes down. Skip ahead to the 1990s. The internet arrives, and suddenly everything's about to change forever. Again. This time it's different. Again. Companies that have never turned a profit are worth billions. Pets.com spends millions on Super Bowl ads to sell dog food online. Their sock puppet mascot becomes more famous than most celebrities. Day traders quit their jobs to flip internet stocks from their home computers. Anyone with a .com in their business plan can raise millions. Traditional businesses seem obsolete overnight. Why shop at Walmart when you can click and order everything online? The psychology's identical to every bubble before it. People see their friends getting rich on paper. They feel stupid for working regular jobs when 25-year-olds are becoming millionaires by building websites. FOMO kicks in hard. March 2000. Reality bites. The Nasdaq, heavy with tech stocks, collapses 78% over 2 years. Those paper millionaires? They're broke. Pets.com shuts down 9 months after their IPO, burning through $300 million. The sock puppet gets sold at a liquidation auction. But here's what's fascinating. The internet revolution was real. Amazon, Google, Apple, they all survived and thrived. The technology was legitimate. The valuations were insane. Sometimes the vision's right, but the timing's wrong, and timing in markets is everything. But wait, before we get to 2008, there's another crash that changed everything. October 19th, 1987, Black Monday. The Dow Jones drops 22% in a single day. That's like your retirement account losing a fifth of its value between breakfast and dinner. Here's the scary part. Nobody saw it coming. The economy was fine. Corporate profits were solid. No major news broke that morning. The market just decided to have a heart attack. This crash revealed something terrifying about modern finance. Computer trading programs designed to automatically sell stocks when prices fell created a feedback loop. Computers sold, prices dropped, which triggered more computer selling, which dropped prices further. Machines were panicking faster than humans ever could. Michael Steinhardt, a legendary hedge fund manager, lost $30 million that day. His comment afterward, "I felt like I was in an earthquake, and the earthquake was in my stomach." Even the pros were helpless against the algorithmic avalanche. Here's where it gets interesting. Each crisis has the same DNA, but different clothes. The 2008 housing crisis, same pattern, different asset. Banks convinced everyone that house prices never fall. They created fancy financial products with names like mortgage-backed securities. Basically, they took risky home loans, chopped them up, mixed them together, and sold pieces to investors worldwide. People who couldn't afford houses got loans anyway. No income verification, no down payment required. But nobody cared because houses were guaranteed to appreciate. Then reality hit. House prices started falling. People owed more on their mortgages than their homes were worth. They walked away, leaving banks holding worthless paper. Bear Stearns vanishes overnight. Lehman Brothers, a 158-year-old investment bank, dies in a weekend. The global economy freezes. Millions lose their homes, their jobs, their futures. But wait, there's more. Remember 2020? GameStop stock goes from $4 to $400 in weeks. Not because the company's doing better, but because internet traders decide to squeeze Wall Street hedge funds. Reddit forums replace Amsterdam coffee houses, but the emotion's identical. Fear of missing out, the belief that this time's different. Or look at crypto. Bitcoin hits nearly $70,000 in 2021. People are taking out second mortgages to buy digital coins. Sam Bankman-Fried becomes the poster boy for crypto success. His exchange, FTX, is valued at $32 billion. Then in November 2022, everything collapses. FTX was using customer money to cover losses. He goes from billionaire hero to federal prison in months. The crypto crash wipes out $2 trillion in market value. Regular people who bought into the hype lose their life savings. The pattern never changes. Only the technology does. Whether it's tulips, stocks, houses, or digital tokens, the cycle stays the same. Innovation creates opportunity. Opportunity creates optimism. Optimism creates greed. Greed creates bubbles. Bubbles always pop. But here's the part that'll blow your mind. The crashes aren't random. They follow a script written in human psychology. First, something new appears. Technology, discovery, market opportunity. Early adopters make money, real money. Word spreads, more people jump in, prices rise, success stories multiply. Media coverage explodes. Everyone's talking about the people getting rich. Then comes the tipping point. Your neighbor, your coworker, your barber starts bragging about their gains. You feel stupid for missing out. You convince yourself you're being cautious when really you're being left behind. You jump in, so does everyone else who was waiting. Prices skyrocket. You feel brilliant. You borrow money to buy more. Why wouldn't you? It's free money. Then something shifts. Maybe it's a news story. Maybe interest rates change. Maybe people just wake up and realize prices make no sense. Doesn't matter what triggers it. Once doubt creeps in, the stampede reverses. Everyone rushes for the exit at once. Prices collapse faster than they rose. People who felt rich yesterday are broke today. The smart money that got out early watches from the sidelines as latecomers lose everything. From Dutch tulips to digital currencies, the story stays the same because people stay the same. We're wired to follow crowds, to believe in magic solutions, to think we're different from everyone who got burned before us. That overconfident investor from 1929, he's still out there. Maybe he's day trading meme stocks. Maybe he's flipping NFTs. Maybe he's your reflection in your phone screen, checking your portfolio for the 10th time today. The next crisis is already brewing somewhere. New technology, new opportunity, new believers convinced they've cracked the code. The faces change, but the blueprint stays identical. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't predict when bubbles will burst, but you can recognize when you're in one. When everyone's getting rich except you, when people say this time is different, when your Uber driver gives you investment advice, that's when you should worry. The crashes will keep coming because human nature doesn't update with the technology. We'll always think we're smarter than history. What crisis do you think is building right now? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if this journey through financial disasters got your attention, subscribe.